As far as the other matchup, I still think I know there's questions and discussion about Eric Singleton and his knee and what his availability is. I think regardless of Eric Singleton's availability, I mean, Hugh Freeze says that he's getting close to 100% earlier in the week. Hopefully, these few days are enough for him to heal and be where Auburn wants him to be. But between him, Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, Sam Turner, Horatio Fields, I just don't think you can hide this talent, regardless of who's at quarterback, regardless of your scheme. I think this is going to be something that Baylor, like similar to the defensive line, they cannot prepare for in practice because that type of talent and depth is not on the roster. And so we went with one matchup favoring the defense. This is the matchup favoring Auburn's offense that I haven't been able to shake. I think this is going to be a fun opportunity for this elite wide receiver room.
First of all, an 80% or an 85% Eric Singleton has to play for no other reason than he's still really, really good at that percentage. But what he does taking pressure off Cam Coleman. You can't double Cam Coleman even with Singleton at 85 or 90%. So that's why that's
Correct.
very important. And I apologize for the helicopter noise in the background. I don't know if we're getting attacked or what, but
I don't hear it. You're good.
Okay,
it's not
good.
coming through. You're good.
So the other thing is the depth of the receivers. I mean, Malcolm Simmons kind of being under the radar and what he's going to be able to do. I have preached the Horatio Fields love all since A-Day game.
Mm-hmm.
Perry Thompson, Sam Turner.
Yes.
If your secondary is a little bit depleted anyway, who do you choose to put on Coleman if your one of your best defenders is not playing? Now, I don't know who their best on-ball defender is. I suspect that's who they'll put on Coleman. But then that means somebody is going to be on Singleton that's not. Somebody that's even third down the
I don't think they
order.
do sides of the field. I don't think they do that with Dave Aranda's defense. So I think we might actually even be able to dictate matchups a little bit as well.
If you do that and you have somebody that's like the fourth best defensive back on the team covering Malcolm Simmons, it's curtains. I mean, I'm just telling you. Now, if you get the ball off and if you do what you're supposed to do from an offensive line standpoint, protect Jackson Arnold, and if you let the routes run progress like they should. I don't know. One of the things I'm looking forward to, I've heard that these receivers that Auburn has, some of the transfer portal, some of the recruits, there are guys that are actually really, really adept at catching slants and stuff like that, the quick hitters. And Jackson Arnold's very effective at that. I mean, I really want to see the run after the catch, right? We see long bombs a lot and throws in the middle of the field. I want to see that 10-yard slant and somebody just split the safeties and go. And I think Auburn finally has that kind of firepower.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we heard Coach Freeze talk about the decision-making of Jackson Arnold at his presser on Monday, said that he's made good decisions as of late. And that's part of what makes this Hugh Freeze offense potentially dangerous, is because if in theory, like there's all these rules within a play, and depending on, all right, if this guy does this, then I go look at this. And if this guy does this, then I look at this. To where if he makes the right decision, these receivers are going to be open. And these receivers are going to have opportunity. And so if you take what the scheme gives you and you allow these guys to operate within the system of the offense, and he gets it to the right guy quickly and on time, and the receiver is where he needs to be at a certain point in the development of the play, it's all going to take care of itself. And it doesn't matter if it's deep. It doesn't matter if it's short and then you run it long. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. And so I hope everything's drawn up in a way where nobody has to do too much, where everybody can just do their job specifically at quarterback and just allow guys to win one-on-one matchups. You don't have to do too much, Jackson Arnold. Just get the guys the ball. And look, if you're going to hold on to the ball, like I think Auburn's defense is going to be fine. Like, hold on to the ball. Just don't turn it over. Just don't turn it over. In drives and a kick. And if that happens, Auburn will win the football game.
There has been a narrative for months now swelling that Jackson Arnold just has to be a game manager. He just has to play solid. He just doesn't have to make mistakes. His decisions just have to be good. Basically, just be decent, right? And I get that. And that will win Auburn 7 or 8 games if he's that way. But where I push back on that a little bit for the narrative that's out there is that there are going to be explosive plays there where, as a quarterback, sometimes you do have to be a little bit of a gunslinger. You do have to take a risk. And if Auburn wants to get into the 9-10 win territory, he's going to have to make some plays and win some games where he's not just a game manager. He's not just playing solid. He's not just not making mistakes, and Auburn's punting. And I think now this kind of game where you're opening up on the road, I think Auburn gets away with that. I think if Jackson Arnold plays turnover-free football, makes the right decisions, let's just throw out a generic number. Let's say he's, 20 of 30 for 280 yards and a touchdown or two, okay? Nothing that jumps off the page at you, even if he just throws for 220 and he's, 20 of 26. That Auburn can win the game as long as they have a decent running game and their defense.
I would take that stat line right now.
That's assuming you're running it for 150 to 200 yards, that he's running it some with his legs and that skill set, and that
your defense is doing its job.
The defense is doing its job. And then that becomes a game that's like, 27-17, something like that. So, I mean, the one thing I like about this matchup, and this isn't coming from a place of arrogance, it's when I look at all the different ways Auburn can win this game, it's multifaceted. It's not just, oh God, Auburn better keep Baylor in the 20s or they ain't going to win. Or Auburn better, there's different ways. You talked about the scenario, which would be a nightmare, like a 10-6 game. I mean, if it's like Cal a couple years ago, which is amazing to me, a game on the road early in the year against the nickname team Bears with a 40,000-seat stadium, the similarities are just jumping off the page at me. But if it's like that game where, that game was in the teens, right? That was real low scoring. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I just think Auburn has a lot more offensive firepower than they did 2 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. And a better offensive line. I mean, almost all of the rosters.
And a better quarterback. Quarterback. That's the key. Better
for sure.
Quarterback.
For sure. I would say this Baylor team is better than that Cal team. I would say that.
Yes, I would too.
I actually think a lot better.
Yeah.
I think Baylor's a good team, Daryl.
I think they're good. I've said it all along. They're a good team. I've not said that they're not. I think that they're, and I think they're one of the most difficult opening opponents on the road that Auburn's had, like I said, since 2002 USC.